So we do have some breaking news around the New Orleans Saints. They signed a quarterback, and it's Nathan Peterman. So, a little bit of an underwhelming sign. I don't know if I love it. I don't know if I really hate it. But we're going to talk about it and break it on down here in today's show. My name is Trace Girouard. Welcome into Saints Now by Chat Sports. Let's talk about the new quarterback in town. So, Nathan Peterman did sign a vet minimum deal. It's going to be only worth $1.21 million for a player who's going in his 7th year in the league. Obviously, Jameis Winston, the quarterback, too, that they've had around for a while, is with the Cleveland Browns. So, now Peterman can compete with Jake Haener for that QB2 position. And if you don't remember, the Saints, they actually traded their 4th-round pick in this year's draft to move up in order to select Jake Haener. In last year's draft, they made the trade with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And to me, that shows that they have some faith in Haener, that they like the player that they see, and that they can trust him to be a backup quarterback. So, clearly, this is a move to compete with Haener. I don't honestly know if he'll win the QB2 battle, but nonetheless, you got to see who can be the better option. So, grade the Nathan Peterman signing for me in the comment section. Get your red pens out like you're a teacher at school. Give me an A, B, C, D, or F. Now, initially, I would have just given this a D, but it's a vet minimum deal. Really ain't paying him all that much. Probably won't even be on the roster. Or not be on the roster, but he probably won't even ever see the field. So it's like, you're not really paying him. You have that extra insurance in case both Haener and Derek Carr and Taysom Hill can't be options. So there you go. I'll give it a B just because it's like, it's all right, maybe a B minus. But Nathan Peterman is the new quarterback in town. He doesn't have a lot of experience in this, or not a lot of playing experience in this league. He's been around the league for now going on his 7th season. And in terms of his career stats, 53.1 completion percentage, 712 yards, and 4 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. So, yeah, that's gonna be your QB3. Way to go, New Orleans. Way to keep free agency interesting. But, guys, I encourage you to subscribe so that way you don't miss any buzz around the black and gold. Anytime there's a notable rumor, anytime the Saints make a move, anytime that there's something to discuss around this team, we're going to bring you guys a video or go live, and we're going to bring you guys some short-form content as well. So I encourage you to subscribe. It's 100% free. And if you're a real Saints fan, make sure it's known by hitting that big red sub button. Now, to be honest, I would have rather gone the route of paying Tyler Huntley or Ryan Tannehill. I understand that you want to have Haener and Peterman compete for QB2, QB3, but if you want it to be a real quarterback conversation and a real quarterback competition, why not go bring in a good player? Like, I'm not saying Nathan Peterman stinks, but I'd feel much safer if Tyler Huntley or Ryan Tannehill went out to put some snaps or play some snaps for the Saints as compared to Nathan Peterman. Here is how the depth chart shakes out. There is no more free agents in the room. Jameis Winston, like I said earlier, is headed to the Browns, but Nathan Peterman is currently slotted at quarterback 3. Jake Haener is going to be the QB2. And like I said, if you're going to make a quarterback competition a competition, you might as well bring in somebody who will actually compete and who will actually make a difference if they have to be on the field. I just don't think that Nathan Peterman ever will see the field, and to be honest, I don't think he ever should. But I will say this, there is a connection between Peterman and the New Orleans Saints. There's actually 2 of them. So Nathan Peterman, Nick Underhill pointed out that he worked with the new quarterbacks coach, Andrew Janocko, in Chicago, and he has been Carr's backup before when he spent some time with the Las Vegas Raiders. So there is that. Maybe there's a little bit of that familiarity that made him feel a little bit safer about this move. But I'm going to be honest, it's still an underwhelming addition if you ask me. I think that Haener should be the QB2. You already invested in him. You already invested a 4th-round pick. You had to make a trade last year. You had to go and you decided to make this addition to your team. Why? I don't know. If you're going to make it a competition, make it a competition, in my opinion. But what's your one-word reaction to the signing of Nathan Peterman? I'll give you mine here in just 1 second. I've actually said it a couple times, but I'll give you my official one-word reaction here in just one moment. But it's your turn to share your thoughts, so chime in down below. Now, my one word, underwhelming. Again, I don't hate the signing. I really don't like it, but I don't know. doesn't really move the needle for me. It doesn't really feel like it's an addition. It doesn't really feel like it's like a good move. It doesn't feel like it's a bad move. It just feels like it's a move that the Saints made, if that makes sense. But I do want to discuss giving Jake Haener a shot because like I've mentioned a few times, there was the trade with Jacksonville to select Haener, and he will have a shot to be quarterback to this offseason. Last year, he did serve a 6-game suspension due to PEDs. Haener said he didn't really know what was going on. He was under the impression that everything he was doing was, abiding by those rules and whatnot. But it is worth mentioning he was the 2023 Senior Bowl MVP, and us Saints fans know how much they love their Senior Bowl players. He also was pretty good with the Fresno State Bulldogs. He put up a lot of really good numbers that we'll take a look at here in a moment. But in terms of the preseason last year, this is the only action we got to see with Haener in the black and gold so far. He did have a 52.7 completion percentage. Nothing really that great. 395 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Again, that's nothing really to write home about. But I will say this. If you guys remember that Kansas City Chiefs game in the preseason week 1, he threw an interception, got them back down the field, was able to lead them to field goal range where Blake Grupe was able to kick a game-winning field goal against the defending Super Bowl champions, who then went on to win it again. So there was that. He showed some composure. He was doing some good things, and he even threw for 172 yards against the Houston Texans in Week 3. Did throw a touchdown against the Chiefs in preseason Week 1. So there is that information for you about the preseason, just in case you forgot because it was so long ago. So let me rephrase. I do believe that Jake Haener should win the quarterback 2 battle. Like, there's no business for Nathan Peterman to be QB2. Because when you look back at Fresno State's numbers, I think that Haener showed a lot of really good things. You guys remember that UCLA game? That's the picture that's behind all these numbers. He lit it up. He literally dropped to his knees, gave everything he had, and those are some things that I like. I love the can't lose mentality. I love that dog mentality. I love the need. It's not just the will and the want to win, it's the need. It is, I will not fail. And I love the decision making there. 20 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. And in 2021, fun fact for you, he threw for over 4,000 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions with a completion percentage of over 67%. That's a good day at the office for Jake Haener. 2 good seasons with the Bulldogs. He also had another good year in 2020 when he first joined Fresno State. But let's go through the free agency tracker in terms of the moves the Saints have made, so that way you can stay up to date with the New Orleans Saints. Tyrann Mathieu, he signed a 2-year, $13 million extension. Demario Davis signed a 2-year deal worth $17.25, $13.25 of that is guaranteed. I love this Willie Gay signing. It was incredible value. 1 year up to $5 million. 3 of that is guaranteed. I truly do think that he could have made upwards of $8 or $9 million, but Saints get an absolute steal for him. And Adam Prentice is headed back to New Orleans as well. And like we said, this whole video about Nathan Peterman, vet minimum deal, is going to be making $1.2 million in the black and gold down in the boot. So guys, if you want to stay up to date around the New Orleans Saints in between these videos, I do post updates on social media before I get into the studio. Just a little bit easier, a little bit quicker way for us to spread information, spread some love, and interact with you guys and get to know you a little bit better. My Twitter's been on a heater recently. I got the blue check mark now, so give me a follow. Over 2,000 follows there. And now I'm trying to get to 2,000 followers on IG. It's at Trace Girouard 48 for both of those. Y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time.